Prince Harry in the crosshairs. The Duke of Sussex's, say that one fast, immigration status reportedly being challenged by conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. A lawsuit filed by the foundation earlier this month demanding that Harry's immigration records be made public to see if the Department of Homeland Security, quote, looked the other way when it comes to the prince's admitted drug use. This, as Harry revealed in both his memoir Spare and in several TV interviews, that he has used cocaine, marijuana, and psychedelic mushrooms. So joining us now to talk about the royal drama we didn't know we needed is immigration attorney and CEO of Lincoln-Goldfinch Law, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. Kate, thank you so much for being with us. Is there any actual chance that Prince Harry faces consequences over this lawsuit?
It's possible. So in immigration laws, someone can be considered inadmissible for a controlled substance offense if they've been convicted or if they've admitted to committing offense, or if the government has a reason to believe that they're a drug trafficker. In this situation, I think we're looking not at a conviction or reason to believe that he's a drug trafficker, but has he admitted to committing a controlled substance offense? And so if he did admit it on his application and it was waived or glossed over, why was that? Why did the government take that action in his case and maybe not in others? On the other hand, if he did not include his past drug use on his application, that could be considered fraud because now he's saying that he has used substances in the past and potentially he could be accused of committing fraud, and that would create issues in any immigration case.
All right, so Kate, the federal government typically does not release, at least not publicly, immigration-related records. What are the chances they could be forced to do so in this case?
Yeah, typically consular records are really difficult to get. We use Freedom of Information Act requests to obtain records of immigrants inside the United States from USCIS, but getting them from the Department of State is typically very difficult. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in federal court, and if the government is forced to turn over these records, we'll see what is included in his application.
All right, so what about the fact that, he's married to an American citizen, he has 2 children who are American, he also has the celebrity status. Can that have any bearing on the case?
Sure. I mean, first of all, to admit to a controlled substance offense, you really have to formally admit to all of the elements of a crime. Did you intentionally and knowingly possess, et cetera? So there are some arguments that that was not a formal admission. Now, if it is found that he needs a waiver, really what comes to play in these fraud waivers or controlled substance waivers is the ties to the country, the hardship to the relatives, the U.S. citizen wife and child. That would all be relevant. And in terms of his celebrity status, my guess is it has helped him thus far. It probably helped him get in quickly, get through the process quickly. But of course, his celebrity status is what is drawing this attention of this lawsuit upon him at this moment. I think at the end of the day, probably we won't see much more on this for him. He's not going to lose his immigration and status in the United States by my guess. But we'll just have to watch and see how it plays out. And it's all going to start with this case in federal court.
Just so really quickly here, I mean, is this a frivolous case in your opinion, or is there some validity to what is being alleged here?
I think in my mind, as an immigration lawyer in Texas, seeing all of the immigration issues that we face as a nation, this is not the best use of our time and energy, in my opinion.
All right. Well, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you.